figure out how to work this camera because I honestly don't know how. And guess what? I'm a millennial. So, hi guys, and welcome to According to Kiva. As you can tell, my name is Lakiva. I am a first year teacher, and I am here to tell you all about my time, my experience as I had to find my job. And this has honestly been a bittersweet roller coaster ride for me. So first of all, who am I? I am a first year teacher. I teach 9th grade English. In Texas, I'm not going to disclose where I work or anything like that due to safety reasons. However, I am about to give you the rundown of my experience, the things that I've had to go through. So the first thing I'm going to talk to you guys about is my post-grad life. So prior to me graduating, I did graduate from Sam Houston State University. So prior to me graduating, I had to, I think in October. So I went through Sam Houston's education program. I was an English major and a secondary ed minor. So I did student teaching. I had to go through their whole Sam Houston's entire program. And I think about a month before, no, 2 months actually, before I did graduate, I went ahead and took the content exam. I took the 7th through 12th content exam. I did pass on my first time, so I found that out in November. A little bit, right, I think I found out literally a week before I graduated. And so I passed it, and then after that, I went ahead and I'm also trying, you know, if I'm going, I know that I might be going a bit fast, but this is my first time recording. And also, I don't want to make the video too long, but again, I'm trying to point out where am I looking at, so hopefully I'm looking in the right places. But, so I did do that. I found out that I passed my test a week before I graduated, so then, boom, it's graduation. I graduated that following Friday of me finding out that I did pass the content exam. And so after that, guess what? I was back at home. And so it was a good thing that I graduated, but then I started to have this panic feeling because it was like I'm back at home, I don't have a job, and I don't have a job. So where am I gonna work? So that was my next step. So I'm just, so by the time I got back home, of course it's Christmas break, all the schools are closed, and I'm like, okay, what do I do next? So, and then I had to, so January came around and I finally applied to the job that I wanted to work. So I wanted to work at this middle school, the middle school where I came from. And so I applied, I interviewed, and you know, everything was going really great. And then I couldn't work. So I could not work because I didn't take my PPR test. And I had absolutely no clue that I was not going to be able to work until I passed both of my tests, because I was under the assumption that when you're going through a program at a university, that it would probably be the same requirements as you're going through it with the alternative certification programs. But no, it was different. So I was like, okay, well, I have to hurry up and take this PPR test. So I did that, and then I like rushed it, took it. I took no time to study, I rushed it, took it, and guess what? I failed. So I fell into this really big depression because I'm like, what am I gonna do next? And that was my biggest thing, like, what am I gonna do next? So out of nowhere, I just started meeting a lot of people, and really, I started meeting these people based off social media. And that gets me to my next point, y'all. it is such a good thing when you're surrounded by positive people in your life that literally wants to help you. So I started meeting all of these people. And then that's when I met my mentor. She's awesome. And you guys will really get to meet her sometime soon. So I met my mentor. She started giving me all of this great advice. And she was, basically keeping me encouraged and telling me, okay, here's what to do next. So by this time, I'm like, okay, well, I didn't pass my test. I'm still out of a job. So what do I do? So then that's when the school contacted me and I became the permanent sub at the school until I was able to pass my PPR. So I did that. I loved it. I loved being around the kids, but I still hadn't passed my PPR test. And y'all, it sucked. I think it's kind of like a thing with yourself because you know that you want the best and you want to be the best. So I was just like, I'm not passing this test. So what do I do? And so what I did was I was still studying, but I just felt like, okay, I have one more time for me to take this. Well, I didn't have one more time. You honestly really have 5 times to take the test. And if you don't pass it within those 5 times, then I think after that, you're done unless they waive it. So I was on like my 2nd time. So I was like, okay, in my head, I'm thinking, okay, if I don't pass this test, I'm just done. I'm not doing this anymore. It's just a no-go for me. And then I had to sit in my room one day and I thought about it and I was like, no, teaching has always been something that I wanted to do. And so I'm gonna make sure that I do this. And so I basically had to start keeping my own self motivated. And then there was another lady, I'm not gonna say her name, but I will tell her that I was, talking about her. So she told me, look, we had a ton of conversations. She basically told me, look, here's what you need to do. Here's what you're not doing. So basically what I wasn't doing is, since I hadn't, it was a long distance for me from me going through student teaching basically. And so since it had been so much time for me going through that, I had started to forget everything that I needed to know in order for me to pass the PPR. So I basically had to go back and break down each competency and study it and reteach myself. So I did that. So I'm studying. By this time, it's the summertime. I still have no job. So it's the summertime. I'm still studying. And then, y'all, I kid y'all not, I registered for the test. I tried to go and take the test, but I think the previous night before it was a storm. And so, I had no clue that this place was going to be closed down or any of the testing locations would be closed down, but they were. So by the time I got there, that's when I figured that out, and I was just like, what do I do? What do I do? Because it's July. I think it was at the end of June. It's at the end of June, and I need a job. Even though I know I won't start now, but I need to make sure that I'm good for August so that I can be doing what I want to do, which is teaching kids. And so basically I had to reschedule a date. They basically waived my test for me to reschedule it. So I rescheduled it for the beginning of July. And so it took a week for my scores to come back. And y'all, I kid y'all not, I was texting my mentor. And I was just panicking. I was just like, I feel like I'm not gonna pass. And if I don't pass, I can't do this anymore. Because it seemed like I kept getting rejected. And that was just really tough for me. So, as always, she kept me encouraged and said, take your time. Because by this time, I ended up getting the scores back. And I was like, I just received the scores, but I'm scared to open it. And so she basically told me, take your time. And so I finally opened. Like, before I had even opened it, I was looking on social media, and I was looking at the testing group that I was in, and everybody who was looking at their scores, how some people passed, some people failed, and I'm just like, ah. So I looked up this sermon and I started watching it. And after that, I just became so motivated, and I was like, you know what? What's meant for me will be for me, and what will not, will not. So let me just open it and see. So I opened it, and guess what? I passed. So I'm like, okay, so what are my next steps? So I know that I really wanted to work at the school so bad. And so I get on the website, and there was no job available. So I said, okay, well, I know that I wanted to work at the school so bad, but even with me wanting to work at the school so bad, I know that I want to work in this district so bad. And so I said, okay, let me just take a chance, because I seen an opening for 9th grade at this campus that was in the same district. I said, you know what? Let me just take a chance. I know I don't really want to teach 9th grade, and I never had experience with 9th grade. Even in my student teaching experience, I had never had experience with teaching 9th grade. So in my student teaching experience, I taught 10th and 11th grade, and then 8th grade, which I really loved 8th grade. I was just like, okay, middle school is for me, and I don't want to do anything else. That's how I had my mindset. And so after that, I finally, so I applied. I was just like, let me just apply and see what happens. Y'all, I did this on a Sunday. On that Monday, the principal called my phone at, I think it was like at 8 o'clock that morning. And she said, you know, I see that you put in this application. Can you come in for an interview today? And I'm like, yes, ma'am. But in my head, I'm like, today? Like, today? I feel like I wasn't prepared. Like, I didn't know what I needed. I don't know. So, I jumped out of my bed, and basically, I started to prepare for this interview. So I didn't know what to expect or anything like that. And then I just started calling a bunch of people like, what do I do? What do I do? I have this interview. And so they're just telling me, calm down. And, you know, they're helping me practice, you know, interview questions and things like that to make sure that I'm ready for this interview. So yeah, I went to the interview, and the craziest thing was, I had met the principal before. And so she told me, because the person had told her that I wanted to work in middle school, she was like, oh no, you need to be over here with me. So I'm like, okay, but I had no clue. I had no idea that months later on down the line that I'll be actually interviewing with her for real. And so I interviewed, and basically she offered me the job. Y'all, when I tell you I was so lit after it. My adrenaline was just really going. And so I think that by that day and me getting that job, that was like the best thing that ever happened to me, because at that moment, so literally the day after I interviewed for the 9th grade position, I got the job. Guess what? The job that I wanted, it was a job posted. And so again, I started thinking back at the sermon that I had watched before I opened my test scores, and I was just like, you know what? I was like, maybe this is for me. So school started, and y'all, I'm just so hyped. That was my move. And so I just started feeling like that I was getting back to a great place. I'm like, I have a job. I have a job now. Now I'm able to do what I want. And when I tell y'all, I literally love my job, and I would not trade my job for the world. I love the kids that I work with. I love the coworkers that I work with. It's just such a great environment, and I'm just so ecstatic that, you know, my principal chose me. Because I'm telling y'all, it's literally the best feeling ever. So I did that, and y'all know what's the craziest part about this whole entire thing? It's like throughout my whole teaching journey, And I am gonna give y'all a little bit more content about my first experience actually teaching, because it has been a tough roller coaster. It's like I'll have some good days, I have some bad days, but my mentor always talked to me about, you know, it's okay to have your moment, but make sure you have your moment and you never sit in it. So I have my moments, but honestly, I just really never sit in them. I always, anytime I receive some criticism, I'm always accepting of it. And I always try to figure out, okay, this isn't working for me, so how do I change this to make it better, to go and fix it, basically. And so that's honestly has been my mood since school has started. And yeah, and the next craziest thing is that even though we're like out for spring break, it's still a bittersweet moment. So it's like I wish for this break, but I never knew that I'll be away from my kids after this week due to this coronavirus issue that's going on out in the world today. And I'm like, and this just has to happen on my first year of teaching. And so, as you guys know, that they canceled, well, since I am from Texas, they canceled the STAR testing. So I'm like, oh man, you know, I can't even see my progress, my kids' progress, because I have been hitting my kids hard. And they've been working hard, even if they don't think that I don't give them enough credit. My kids work so hard. And I'm just like, you know, so that's just really unfortunate that I'm just over here stuck in the house and I can't see my kids, because honestly they make my day so much better. But word of advice is any new teacher that's experienced post-grad issues that I experienced, you will get through it. Just always make sure that you stay motivated. Try to talk to somebody who has been in it before and try to get them to help you figure it out, because you will figure it out, just like I did. And so I'm excited to tell you guys about more content that I'll be bringing to the table. So of course, as I mentioned before, you will get to meet my mentor, and you will get to meet other mentors that I do have. And then also you will get to meet my educator friends. And it's so crazy because, y'all, I kid y'all not, when I went to new teacher orientation, I met this group of people. We had I think it was 3 of us that had just started, and then the other one, she had been teaching for some time, but we are like this. And who would have known that at new teacher orientation that I would meet a good group of friends like that? So y'all will get to meet them, and then I will talk to you about me being in the teaching program at SMU State University. I will try to get my experience out to you guys about what I experienced in just being at SMU State University in general, if you do want to know about that. So I am trying to bring all of that content to you, but guess what? I am so excited to share with the world my experiences, my stories, especially from my stories as far as my first year teaching. Because I'm telling y'all, my kids are amazing, and my whole entire classroom experience, first year experience, has been amazing. So I can't wait to get that out to y'all. But I just wanted to start this video off by telling you so that you can get to know a little bit about me, even though throughout this first video you won't gain a lot about me, but this is my experience of what I went through trying to find a job. So I thought that was important for me to tell you guys about that, because I do get a lot of messages from people that I don't know about them asking me questions about how did you get started, what did you do, how did you get through that, how did you get through this. So I was just like, you know, let me just go ahead and make a YouTube video about it, because everybody doesn't have that. Everybody doesn't have the people that I have in my life that they could just go to and try to help them figure out how to get through this. So here I am to help you, give you my experience, and hopefully that helps you just like it did me. So until next time, it was nice meeting you guys. Make sure that you tune in. Make sure that you subscribe and like and comment. Make sure that you give me any feedback that would be helpful to me. Make sure that you drop questions. What do you want to know? Because I want to know what you want to know. Because I'm ready to share my experiences with you. So it's been great. Also, as a side note, I know that this whole coronavirus issue has been a tragic, panicky thing that's been happening, but I want to reach out to all my students to let you know that, we're still here. We're still going to get through this together. And anytime that you need me, make sure that you reach out to me because I am available for you guys. So until next time,